Hey, welcome back everyone, and I have a story to start by telling you. That story is about my brother who might be, he's in there. He gave me a snow globe with his picture in it. And not just any picture, but you can see he's wearing like a red and blue striped shirt. Maybe you can see that. Abby's saying no. Trust me, he's wearing a red and blue striped shirt in there. And he wears that for he's a teacher, and he wears that for every school picture day because we have a picture of him when he was going to school, and he's wearing the same shirt, so now he wears that for all his school photos. But he gave me this snow globe, and you might think it's a little odd for someone's brother to give them a snow globe with a picture of them in it. And the story that goes along with this is that my brother and I have an ongoing trick for one another, an ongoing challenge with one another, which is we get one another gifts that are terrible gifts. Just ridiculous, silly gifts that you'd never really want. The trick is you have to use whatever that gift is. So for instance, he got me a snow globe with his picture in it. I have to use it. So it is one of the many things in my office. He's given me a latch of Jesus, which looks like a Jesus made out of a carpet, and that's hanging in the closet of my office. He gave me a really terrible book once, so I had to read the book. It all started because I gave him a sweatshirt with a picture of me on it, and he started wearing it around, so that's where the joke all started. And we've done different things like bad books, or silly foods, or snow globes with your face in it. It's just one of the strange ways that he and I kind of do that sibling rivalry thing that people have, those jokes and challenges that siblings have, and in this case it's a fun one. In our story today, it's not a fun sibling rivalry. We have Jacob and Esau, who are the sons of Isaac. Isaac was Abraham's son, so we spent the last couple weeks talking about Abraham and Isaac. Now we're talking about Isaac and his kids, Jacob and Esau. Esau's the oldest of the two, and Jacob is the youngest. And back then, there wasn't much of a family rivalry because the oldest son always won. The oldest son got the cool stuff, the oldest son got the family house, the oldest son got all the things that the father had, and the youngest son kind of had to make their own way in life. And so it wasn't much of a family rivalry because the oldest son always won. I'm the youngest son, so that would not have been a good system for me. This brother is the middle son, so he wouldn't have gotten much, and our oldest brother, who I don't have a snow globe of, would have gotten all the cool stuff. So in our story today, Jacob tricks Esau. Now usually we think of tricking a brother as something that would be bad, but the idea here is to think of Jacob as kind of clever, because the system wasn't a very fair system. It just gave everything to the oldest son, even though Jacob was the son who was most deserving in this case, as the Bible tells us. And so what he does is, Isaac by this time is an old man. We met him as a kid, now he's an old man, and his eyesight isn't very good. And so he can't see the son. So Jacob kind of does his best to make himself kind of look like Esau. I guess Esau has really hairy arms, and so Jacob sticks some hair on his arms and stuff like that, and he pretends to have a beard, I think. He does these things to look like Esau, and he gets his father's blessing, which means he gets his, one of the nice gifts that the dad has to give. The other thing would be the inheritance, like the property, but the blessing is kind of like all the title and the respect and that sort of thing. And so he gets those things from his father. Now, like I said, tricking a brother and taking something from your dad wouldn't be something that would be a very good thing, is it? We keep running into this, right? Some bad behaviors coming up in the Old Testament, in the early parts of the Bible. But the lesson to take away from this one is that just because Jacob was the young son, didn't mean he was not deserving or not special. One of the things that we're going to see throughout the story of the Bible is that people who the rest of the world might have thought of as not good enough, or second best, or second class, or someone to be laughed at or put aside, the Bible shows us over and over again that those people are worthy and deserving and qualified and special and wonderful people. And Jacob is one of those. He's a wonderful, special, quality person, even though society would have said, youngest son, not so special. Oldest son, that's where it's at. All those rivalries, all those differences that we have, they get set aside. All those things that make us put one person ahead of another, those things don't matter to God. What matters to God is that you are special, that you are worthy of being loved by God, and that you are valuable and that you matter. And that's the lesson that we can take away today. So my brother and I are going to keep having our silly rivalry, but we'll always remember that one another are special and that one another matter and are valuable, just like God reminds us today that Jacob is valuable and special and worthy and lovable, just like you. Bye, everyone.